Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of February 20th, where this week we are starting off welcoming in a new moon at 1 degree of Pisces, and this is a lot of assimilation. It is a lot of crystallization that we've got going on, but it's also a clear opportunity to see where I connect with and where I can create space to release what is no longer serving me. So it's a big week in terms of those energies, and starting at 1 degree, this is the absolute degree of fresh beginning. So we've got a lot to look at in terms of just this lunar event that's happening this week. But of course, that's not all that's going on in the cosmos. We're also going to review the times when the moon is void, of course, because there's more time to rest and to do the assimilation than we typically give ourselves credit for. So including the moon being void, of course, in our weekly horoscopes is my attempt to remind you that there is time to do the work that we are here to do. There is time to breathe through the hard spots, to breathe in the enjoyment and the inspiration. We've got plenty of time to do it all. All right, my beautiful friends, before we jump in, please take advantage of your spring and summer specials as they are up. And these are actually, you guys, going to be the last spring and summer seasonal specials before prices do increase in May. It's time. Stormie Grace is growing. I will actually be introducing you guys not only to my new home in Spain just shortly, but also to our new team members as Stormie Grace is expanding so that we can better serve you. So lots going on. Make sure you take advantage of your seasonal specials. Of course, until May as well. The Astrology 101 digital course is still for sale, so you can grab that. Everything's in the description box down below, including your digital transit calendar from our friends at Wise Skies Collective. So lots to help you learn and get the interpretation of the astrology under your belt to help guide you throughout the week, okay? All right, into the week, my beautiful astrology soulmates. So first and foremost, as we're coming into the week on Monday, we are coming in with this beautiful new moon at 1 degree of Pisces. It's in conjunction with Saturn, who will soon be moving into the energy of Pisces just next month. And then on the stage, we have also got Venus and Pluto in this really delicious 29-degree conversation with one another. And this changes the way that Saturn actually shows its emphasis in this particular moon. So let's break this down. First and foremost, the new moon, what's actually happening is that the sun and the moon are coming together, okay? They're right next to each other, which means that when the luminaries are together, anything is possible. Anything can happen. It's like the soil of your life and of your spirit is very, very fertile at that time. So you want to be conscious, accountable, and very choosy as we're coming into late Sunday night and throughout Monday, because what you plant in your garden of this beautiful, fertile soil, for good or for ill, is going to take shape and start to grow. So this is not only a time where I tell you to know that the new moon is coming and know how it normally affects you or how you feel, but to be accountable and to be choosy with your life, your energy, your breath, and your space with what you're going to allow to be planted and therefore bloom on the other side of this, okay? But essentially what's happening as this beautiful fertile soil is happening down there and you're planting your seeds of intention, you're doing it in the dark. Right? The sun and the moon are together and it is dark, so you really can't see. So a new moon is the space and time where we are projecting ourselves out. We're projecting the wish, we're projecting the desire, you're projecting yourself in the way that you'd like to experience something, but you are also doing it in the space of really pure intuition. And what does that require? For some people it is ritual, for some people it looks a lot of different ways. Whatever it looks like for you to welcome in the new moon into your space, I would just ask you to get quiet, get clear, do whatever you do that lets you tap into that space that's the head and the heart connected in a very intuitive way so that you can understand how to take advantage of this energy working in the sign of Pisces. So what we see here in this Pisces vibration is Pisces wants to go with the flow. It's the great womb. Everything is everything. The hurts are also the heals. It's very much so this vibration. So you're being asked essentially in this Pisces energy to connect that head heart space, go with the flow, move with what your energy that is not clouded by chaos and calamity and challenge and the noise of the outside world is guiding you towards. Now, when we see the shape of this new moon getting a bit different, we bring in these planetary actions, okay? First of all, being conjunct Saturn, who is, like I said, getting prepared to move into this energy of Pisces just in March. One of the things we have is a little change to the way Pisces is actually going to receive this new moon. So instead of just going with the flow and everything's everything, the great desire that you have, the ideal that you want for your life, it's also a time where Saturn's influence is going to say, we need to, yes, be with the here and be with the there, but we also need to put some boundaries, ask some questions, right? What does this mean? Ask some yes or no, black and white questions. If something is in the space of the intangible or the delusion or the, all of the information doesn't seem visible, right here, Saturn's key at this new moon is telling us, ask some questions, right? Ask the questions about the ideal that you want to grow with that, and is what you're doing, is the person, place, or thing that you're interacting with supporting the ideal to get there? Because you can have the best dream that you want in the world. If you don't put a little crystallization of some kind of boundary around it, it can just be boundless. And that can be not this magical, intuitive place, but it's a place of deception, of delusionment, of depression, of a place where we lose our sense of discernment. So at this particular moon, besides seeking this emotional purification and, rebalancing and ebb and flow, you're also being asked to ask questions about what you would like to create next, the goal of the people, places, and things that you're doing that with, and letting yourself see, okay, I don't know this strange new land over here. This came to me in a dream. It's been showing up in a pattern of my writing, but I do feel like I've got a little bit of divine intervention maybe doing for me what I can't do for myself, helping me out, and I just need to ask some questions and make some decisions to crystallize growing in this different direction. And this can be a really interesting time, you guys, because that Pisces energy is like that. And, it's also going to seek to transcend situations and give forgiveness, but also in giving forgiveness so that we can be free and we can, surrender that energy from our spiritual space and from our mental space. We also learn the lesson of not engaging in a certain kind of behavior or with a certain kind of person anymore. And that's very Saturnian. So it is the go with the flow, but also hold on and assimilate what you have learned. So as we're traveling through the rest of the day, that's some of the energy I would like you to be thinking about, and also thinking about the fact that assimilation and integration and absorption of what we've learned and what we've been through and where we are and who we are it's not always linear. Sometimes you have to just hold them. Sometimes you have to fold them. Sometimes you're in it and you are changing at the speed of light, and the other times it feels like somebody has poured you a molasses life. You know what I mean? Like it is just going very slow. You're feeling in your body, depending on where it is in your chart, like this is my best life. And on the other side, you feel like Jello in a trash bag. It's a place where we have to learn to hold and fold, but to assimilate it all, because it is all a part of giving us that space to ask the questions and create the solid Saturnian container about what we'd like to experience next. Now, with this beautiful energy, this beautiful sextile between Venus and Pluto at this particular moon, one of the stories that's kind of in my mind for you is an illumination of a little bit of a bigger cycle. I would be thinking into your life about 26 months. What have you learned in 26 months? What have you seen that now you have the opportunity, it's presented to you to intelligently take action on? And remember, it's the action of decision, of renewing your spirit, renewing your life, renewing your faith, renewing your belief in where you can go moving forward. But it really comes from what you have learned. And at this new moon, you plant those seeds of intention to begin to have that conversation. I absolutely love that. Okay, later in the day, we're going to see Mercury come into a sextile with Chiron. So lots of sextiles to start the day, which is actually quite useful. Now, as Mercury comes into the sextile with Chiron, we have this space to have conversation, right? Talk it out, say it out, journal it out, because it's almost like in order to know that you're in alignment from the head heart, that this connection has happened, and this is a long way, this is the longest distance from the head to the heart, to know that your assimilation is happening, sometimes we just have to put pen to paper. I don't know what happens, but it happens for me all the time, you guys. I'll be thinking I know something, or I'll be thinking I'm over something, or I'll be thinking I have the plan going forward, and then I actually write it on paper, and like the universe gives me sacred eyes or a sacred space and container to see it in a different way that allows me to intelligently take action on making the adjustments, or sitting and being with whatever is felt after realizing what I've actually put on paper into the universe. So I think that this is a great day for that. And when we do that, this is Chiron energy. So it's Chiron, the new identity. It's in Aries, right? The wounded healer. So anything that you have reviewed that has been a wound to your identity that you have been trying to integrate, this is the time to do it, because it's like this space in you opens up and you can see it in a way that you just couldn't view it before. I mean, it's really quite sacred, okay? All right, later in the day later in the week, we're going to see on Tuesday, we're going to see Mercury come into this lovely square with Uranus. Now, not everybody thinks that a square is lovely. I understand that. It is hard. It's like the 911 of the astrological actions and aspects that we need to take, because it demands that you do something. But what are you going to do? Your reaction to the square will really tell you where you're at in your lesson base. If the square comes up on you and you have a knee-jerk reaction, is that good? Is that bad? How do you normally react? Are you a super passive person, and now the fact that you've spoken up or taken an action more quickly is actually to your benefit? Okay, great. So you really have to look at and know how you've been showing up to see how the square is being actualized for you. Now, it does create a conversation of tension. That's what squares do. It's squishing you down. Between Mercury squaring Uranus, what we've got is a square of what I thought, what I'm thinking, what I said, maybe a plan that was supposed to be happening, and a change, or a change in the value. Uranus is in Taurus, right? So I don't think that I value this anymore, or something surprising around a value or a relationship or something with my finances has come up, and the square is challenging you. It is like, you need to make a decision. You need to decide. You need to pick where you're going to go going forward. I would tell you, whatever comes on this day, let the energy come. Let it wash over you. It could be something that really gets your attention and you go, oh my God. Whichever version of oh my gosh, comes up for you, be with your reaction for just a minute, right? Anything except for an actual emergency, which a paramedic is the one who told me that the only things that are emergencies are emergencies. That revolutionized my whole way of thinking about things, because I don't know about you guys, but there was a time for me where it was really, I just felt like everything was urgent. Everything was an emergency. Everything needed to happen now. And what I understand about that space today is that it's just the wanting in me, an attempt to demand comfort from the universe, and an opportunity to not actually have to practice trust in the divine connection, the divine relationship that I have, right? To not trust that my spirit knows exactly where we're at when we're supposed to be there, but that maybe my humanity is overrunning. So if it is something that gets you in a position that kind of shocks you, takes your breath, remember that unless it's an actual emergency, it might be a great space for you today where you are practicing letting go of an old fixed idea of how something has to be handled, how you have to react, what your thinking has to be to make space for a different open-minded experience. I would not highly suggest making really big life-changing decisions on this particular day unless you have to, unless it is an actual emergency. Then please do so. Okay, later in the day, we're going to see the moon come into void, of course, before it enters into the energy of Aries. And then we have got 2 beautiful days of the moon traveling through the energy of Aries. So at an emotional level, I want you to close your eyes as we get to the end of the day on Tuesday, and as we're traveling through Wednesday, and be with yourself and say, listen, my heart, my emotions, my insides, at my depth, at my core, the place that I would protect so that no one could hurt it, right? Where am I willing to be the sacred gardener in my own life? Where am I willing to place right action, right thinking, corrective measures, courage, some assertion, some force to move something forward? And I think that this is genuinely a beautiful, vulnerable expression of an empowered moon in Aries energy. It is also one that demands, again, a high amount of accountability. Check in with you. Check in on you. Where is your fire? Are you lit? Is something lighting you up in life? Is there something that you're doing, you've been saying, you've been believing, you've been being distracted by, you've been engaging in because it's delicious, and you get to check in on if that's a good practice for you. This is a great way to use this moon in Aries over the next couple days. So usher into your sacred garden what you're willing to fight for, because that's what an Aries is going to do, right? All right, when we get to Wednesday, we see Mercury in a trine with Mars. Oh, we just had all of this Aries energy. Now we've got a conversation in a nice, easy aspect with Mars. So when you think about the trine, you guys, first of all, in astrology, it looks like a triangle, okay? I want you to think about what it's like to interact with a trine is like if I show up at your front door and I just hand you a plant. I give plants. If I just show up at your front door and I hand you a plant and you don't have to do anything, you don't have to give me anything, I'm just giving you a plant. But you have to reach out and take that plant. That is the only requirement. That's a trine. It's a pocket of opportunity that is available, but you have to reach out and take advantage of it, okay? So Mercury in this trine to Mars, it's like there is an opportunity for you to focus your action in a direction, to focus your mentality, to focus that mental stamina in a particular direction. There is a chance for you to say, I have assimilated, I am assimilating what has been happening for me in my life over the last 26 months. Who am I today? How do I move? Where can I be some of my own medicine at this time, and focus into that? Now, it's a great time. Is it time for you to write a business plan? Is it time for you to get a presentation together? My students, is it time for you to go over something that you're writing or you're getting ready to present? Because this is focus, right? I want you to think too, the processes in how you get things done. This is a great focused energy for Mercury and Mars together. So one of the things, you guys know I love some business. I think about the processes, the operation systems, and how you do it, like process, procedure, handbook, right? How are you doing what you are doing in your life? What is the process and procedure that it takes to get that particular thing done? And if it requires a long stint of focused thinking or focused attention, this is the day for it. And it couldn't be better than being on a Mercury day anyways. Ugh, I absolutely love that. Okay, we are over to Friday because we've still got a pretty quiet day as we're experiencing the energies on Thursday. But Friday morning, coming in early, straight off the bang, we've got the moon in a void of course position before it's going to enter into Taurus. So remember, void of course, rest, rejuvenate, relook at, reinvigorate yourself in whatever way that you need to or you find pleasurable, okay? Then we see the moon move into the energy of Taurus, creature comforts. What do you like to eat? What kind of clothes do you like to wear? What makes you feel like? And make it something non-technical, non-high-tech, like super analytical. Just let your five senses come alive. It's a great morning to get up on Thursday and say, you know what, I'm going to set the alarm a little bit early and get up and take that really nice shower and use the soap that I like. Or if I got some soap that I really don't like, I'm going to use that soap and I'm going to put it on and feel my own body in a sense of gratitude, right? We treat our bodies like they are partners, not servants. And when is the last time that you did that you put that lotion on those knees, you massaged your scalp, not to get the body to stop hurting and to show up in a sense of slavery, but you massage the scalp because your body is a partner and you want to connect in partnership. This is the energy of Taurus. Maybe you're going to eat something well that day. You're going to look at, emotionally, Where am I carrying too much and I need to say uncle, I need to tap out, right? Because that moon in Taurus energy is like, I got it. Oh, I got it. And sometimes you got to stop getting it. You got to stop having it, right? I'm a Taurus. I can tell you about that hustle life and the endurance life. But instead, what if being you and being in your heart and being in your life could be pleasureful? Why does it have to come through pain? Why can't it come through some beautiful pleasure? Something for you to think about as you're traveling that day, okay? All right, we're going to see a really nice connection with these nodes as well when we get a little bit later in the day. Now, any kind of connection with the node to me just makes me think, okay, we're motivated to move forward, right? We're motivated to push forward, to move towards a destiny point. And we've really seen this signature of energy, I think, like creeping in and moving in on the side. So this is not necessarily new. I personally would suggest that this be an extension of that Taurus vibration for you. I just want you guys to all be out there having all the pleasure all day long is really what's happening. Eat something good too. Okay, when we get to Sunday, we're going to get later in the day. We're going to see that the moon is again in a void of course state. So please rest. And then we will see the moon enter into the energy of Gemini, and this is the chatty moon, the chatty emotional life. Think about the moon being in air, okay? You might have to think about how you feel, right? Our air signs live in the mind, so you might have to think about how you feel before you can process it out. Or you may have to talk about, journal about, sing about, dance it out, find a way, type it out, but don't push send if it's crazy, okay? Type it out, like get it out. Let words bubble up from the depths of your space. Whether or not your natal moon is in Gemini, the moon traveling through the Gemini area of your chart has something to talk about. It has something that is being lit up. It has something every month in this area that it is like waiting for you as the CEO of your life to come through and say, hey, what's going on here? Oh yeah, you remember that one time we went to the place? That was such a fun memory. What book do we want to read? It's looking for you to ask the Gemini questions in that area of your chart to make sure that it is ship shape and to communicate what needs to be communicated, or to learn, or to bring in and ingest, that new book, that piece of content or writing or a networking event that brings new information to your space. Every month this is something that happens. So it's time to check in, all right? It's absolutely going to be a week, you guys, I think of, just this assimilation, this going back and forth a little bit of the energy that this Pisces new moon brings in, because we really put ourselves in this, and we drop into this space of needing to see what no longer serves us, what we're no longer willing to travel forward with, and then to assimilate to the energetic space that is around us and the decisions that we need to make to progress in order to allow that assimilation and absorption to absolutely happen. So I think it's going to be a very interesting week. I think it can be a powerful week. I look forward to hearing from you how this manifests for you in the comment section down below. And I also, just before we wrap up, I want to thank all of you for all of your good wishes as we are packing up this house and getting prepared for our move to Spain. There's lots of content coming out for you guys, where you're going to see me all over the world doing all sorts of things, because there was a lot of travel that was happening even before we're packing the house, and I am only home for 4 weeks before we make our move. So I just want to say thank you for all of your support. Thank you for loving me and sticking with me all of these years. And even if you're new here, thanks for joining the Astrology Soulmate family. This is a really good place to be, and hopefully this helps guide you through your week and brings a little astrology into your life. All right, my beautiful friends, I love you, and I will see you next week. Bye.